We have seen that reflective practice can be a dialogic process, and as such, dialogue can be a self-assessment tool for the reflective practitioner. It's useful for assessing knowledge as well as practice, but also in terms of evidencing reflection and development for the reflective practitioner. And as such, there are some critical elements to the dialogic process in terms of reflection. And these are aspects of trust and empathy, understanding and openness to learning. And in terms of reflection, it's also about taking responsibility and challenge in order to develop. It involves exploration as well as critique of experience, and is a process of communication at many different levels, from a very descriptive level through to an analytical and evaluative level. And what we need to do then for the reflective practitioner is try to define what would be included in terms of dialogue for reflection. It is indeed conversation with a purpose. It's not just general conversation. And it involves the reflective practitioner in moving forward professionally. It's learning which should emerge over time. Dialogue helps learning develop rather than just become instantaneous. And therefore, the reflective practitioner needs to take care in terms of the professional dialogues that take place. There is, of course, an inherent power differential in any dialogue that a reflective practitioner engages with. And this power differential can actually be quite useful, but needs to be fully understood by the reflective practitioner. And there is an understanding that, therefore, the reflective practitioner should assess the quality of the dialogue that's being engaged with, and the evidence of the understanding that's growing from that. And as a tool for the reflective practitioner to use, it is as much about process as product. It's as much about learning, evolving over time from engaging in dialogue, rather than just the outcomes of the dialogue. And dialogue then has a shared purpose. It's not just one way, it's a two-way street. And there are genuine questions which are based in experience and develop the reflective practitioner to higher levels of performance. And for the reflective practitioner, it is formative in the sense that dialogue can move backwards as well as forwards, reflecting on previous experiences as well as looking towards the future. And the power relationship, the two-way power relationship, enables this backwards and forwards movement as part of the learning process. And what we need to consider is the influence that particular criteria, especially assessment criteria or learning outcomes for teachers, may have on the dialogic process. They may influence or guide the particular type of dialogue. And this affects the quality of the dialogue and can actually be beneficial to the reflective practitioner. And what we have to remember is, of course, that dialogue is quite complex and involves complex interaction with another. And therefore, there not only needs to be speaking, but also listening. Effective dialogue in terms of a professional conversation engages in turn-taking and mutuality in terms of sharing information and working with understanding. And there, of course, this is based on different expectations and intentions for the dialogue. And so there is a notion that the process of dialogic reflection is critical rather than superficial, and there is an emphasis on growth and development with dialogic reflection. And what is important to consider is how much you as a student engage in this process.